Hello, hello, and welcome to Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, the time to get together and talk to you guys about positivity in this series. So, welcome. Got to get on the right screen. Welcome to Insights with Ivanna, a weekly broadcast designed to help you identify, embrace, and live more fully in your genius by illuminating important pieces of information you actually already possess. It's right there in front of your nose. We talk a lot about being the golden version of yourself or finding out what your life's purpose is. You know it already, you just might not realize you do. So I'm here to help you with that. If you are on, please say hello so that I know that you are here. So tonight is our fifth week of our 12-week series exploring pathways to positivity. Hi, I'm Ivanna. I am the founder and chief luminary officer of Luminary Insights, an intuitive life coaching brand. Tonight we will explore interest. So if you saw the encouragement to come to the course, you're like, well, what is interest? What does interest have to do with positivity? Hi, Jody. Did you ask that question? What does interest have to do with positivity? And so, being my cute little self, I said, I hope you are interested enough to stick around and find out how interest increases psychological strength, good mental habits, social connection, and physical health. So I will put the link in the chat in just a minute, but if you don't already have a copy of the spreadsheet that we have been working off of, those four things that I just mentioned are what we are talking about. How in just 12 weeks, we can actually make a huge difference. There's the link. We can make a huge difference in our own lives. And so if you have the spreadsheet that I just put there, you'll see those four things that we were just talking about: psychological strengths, mental habits, social connections, and physical health. So each week we've been talking about how positivity can help in those areas. So when is the last time that you absolutely got lost in something, like totally absorbed, time flew by, and then you come back to reality and you're like, wow, that was flow. We talked about flow. Flow is truly a miracle. It is when we are in the zone, when everything is right with the world. We've talked about that in several broadcasts, and part of my goal is to help you reach that state of flow, that miraculous state of everything just being absolutely amazing, time standing still. For me, it's almost like there's a little aura around me, and it doesn't seem real. It's very surreal. So how do we get there? How does interest play into that? So some of you won't believe me, but we don't watch TV at my house. We don't actually even own a TV. I do watch some short things on my phone, but not very often because I get a lot of screen time during my work hours. But I will tell you that lately I have been hooked on treasure hunters. So it's the kind that use metal detectors out on the beach or out in the sand dunes. It's the kind that use magnets to go magnet fishing. It's like I can't get enough. I discovered it. I keep finding more and more of them. And it's like I'm there with them, digging things up or pulling things up. I get really excited with their finds. And then all of a sudden my phone battery dies. And it's like, oh my. So I admit that's kind of a passive thing. It wasn't active. But what do I get out of it? Why am I so interested in it? Part of it's an escape from reality, but it's an adventure. I, like many of you, have been stuck at home for almost 2 years, and I love to travel. And I love to find treasures. I'm a bargain hunter. I love to go to thrift stores, yard sales. I have even gotten diamond rings, real diamond rings at yard sales. So I want to find really high quality things for little to no cost. And the search and the people are all part of it. That's part of how I get into flow. Well, I haven't been able to do a lot of that lately. I haven't been able to have those experiences, and so I've really been able to have cathartic experiences as I rejoice with these treasure hunters in their finds. And the funny thing is, my husband knows if I let out a little squeal that they found gold. So it's been very interesting for me because I'm living vicariously through these videos, but it's interest. It's something that interests me deeply. Finding things that are hidden, whether it's something hidden in the ground or something hidden in a person, and helping them bring out that golden version of themselves. So my interest is actually a kind of positivity. Thank you, Jody. Jody says you are best at bargain hunting. Yes, a $10 rainbow vacuum cleaner. If anybody knows about rainbow vacuum cleaners and how much they cost, Yes, I did score one at a yard sale for $10. That worked perfectly, and that was probably 15 years ago, and it still works. So yeah, I forgot about that one. I always think about the diamond rings. Anyway, my interest is a kind of positivity. So Dr. Fredrickson, who we've talked about before, she's the author of the book Positivity. She shows in the book that excuse me, that when we are filled with this sense of interest, it gives us all these possibilities. It's like our mind opens up. And unlike joy and serenity, it actually calls for us to increase our attention and even put in effort on our part. So maybe when I'm watching the guy digging the stuff out of the sand, there's not so much effort, but guess what? If I go out and get my own metal detector, then that effort comes in. So there'd be a little bit more if I were actually doing it. But she also says that interest expands our horizons. And what it has done is it has sparked a discussion with us here at home about actually trying to do it ourselves. So I think it's really cool that this passive sense of interest has really led to something very active or potentially active for us. So I want to pause because I want you to tell me about you. What has your interest these days? How do you feel when you're focused on your interest? You can keep it really short. So for me, I would say treasure hunting, excited, energized. So what has you interested these days? And how do you feel when you're focused on it? I'll give you a few seconds to write. Please do say hello if you're here. Again, every week I hear from somebody that says, I was here, you couldn't see me, I tried to type a comment. I know sometimes people come in on their telephones. I actually found a message from my sister in Messenger after the broadcast last week. So please, please, please do say hello. And if you don't get through, do let me know later. But tell me about you. What has you interested? How do you feel when you're focused on it? And yes, Jody, it sounds fun, and I think it will be fun. So if you're watching the replay, please go ahead and type in the chat box as well, because I'll get to see your responses later on. And I really appreciate those of you that do watch the replay and type in the chat box to let me know that you were here. It means a lot to me to have that support, and especially to those of you that reach out and let me know how the broadcast has touched you and encouraged you and helped you in your life. So thank you. All right, Jody says listening to music, photography, Lego, coloring, and that equals happiness. Yes, I know when Jody gets into those things, she just loses herself completely. That's fantastic that you have so many things that you're interested in and can switch between. That's awesome, Jody. Thank you. All right, so I already put a link in the chat box for the table. I will throw it in there again if you don't have it. So we're going to look at the table again. I'm not good at holding it up here. All right. So interest helps me with my mental habits and my social connections. Those are the two I'm going to focus on today. The second one and the third one, the mental habits and the social connections. So when I'm really interested in something, it's easier for me to be mindful. So on my chart, I said under mental habits that one of the things I don't like is I have this multitasker approach. I want to do 100 different things at the same time, and nothing seems to get my full attention. And so one of the things that I want is to be more mindful. And interest helps me with that. When I'm interested in something, whether it's watching it on the screen or actually out and doing it, it's like my mind is nowhere else. I'm completely focused. And that focus actually helps improve the mental habits. And so for my mental habits, again, I have multitasking approach and mindfulness. So it also helps me to relax and enjoy what I'm doing. Those of you who know me, relaxing is not like my superpower. So when I look at my social connections, I feel this need to be in charge. I'm a fixer, I'm a doer, I want to make sure everything's right. I see something that needs to be done even with a stranger and I want to jump up and do it. I actually helped with a wedding one time that I wasn't officially part of. It was appreciated, but it wasn't really my responsibility, right? I saw something needed to be done, I jumped in and I did it. So I'm not real good at this relaxing and enjoying. So when I am really interested in something, it helps me to just kind of calm down, focus, relax. And it's a great way to help us to bond with someone else. So it's helpful with my social connections. Even if my social connection is just my husband and I talking about something new we want to try to do together. So you've shared in the box things that help you relax, or things that you have on your wants and don't wants. Jody says contentment and relaxation also. Yes. So when you're doing those things, that sense of contentment, I wonder if you could even call it serenity. We talked about serenity last week in our broadcast, that just feeling safe and calm and peaceful, having that serenity. So I want to ask you also, how might interest help you with the wants that you have chosen on your sheet? So if you haven't done the sheet, you haven't picked anything yet, think about something you don't want in one of these four categories: in psychological strengths, mental habits, social connections, or even physical health. Pick something you don't want, flip it to what you do want, and think about how can being interested in something actually help you. Ah, Jody says, she said jewelry making is a social connection. So it can be. I'd love to hear more about that, how jewelry making is a social connection. I know it's worked that way for us. Jewelry making can also be very zone. It can be very flow. It can be that miracle of just being in the creation mode and not noticing anything else around you. So how might interest help you with the wants that you have chosen, if you've been able to fill out the form, or something you just know you want in your life? How can interest help you with that? And so while you're typing that in, I just want to remind you, we have been exploring joy, gratitude, and serenity so far on our steps. So now interest. How can all of these things actually help you increase your psychological strength, help you grow good mental habits, stronger social connections, and actually better physical health? So let's see what Jody has to say. Thank you, Jody, for being here and being so interactive. Interest helped to pull my focus from my health. All right. So an interest can take our focus away from ourselves, whether it's our health, whether it's something we're sad about, maybe something we're missing. By having something that we're interested in, it pulls us out of ourselves. And again, Dr. Fredrickson says it expands our mind. It helps us to see things more clearly. It helps us to see angles we never even saw before. And because we're interested and we're focused and we've got that positivity, it helps us physically as well. So if you're taking your mindset off of your health, you're actually helping to improve your health, which I think is pretty powerful and pretty cool. So anything else that you guys would want to share? I'm going to try something tonight that I have never done before on Facebook, so we're going to see if it's going to work. I want to try showing a video. Instead of doing a meditation, I found a video that I want to show, and I hope it works. If it doesn't, I will put the link in the chat box. Even if the sound doesn't work, there are subtitles because it's in Thai, and so you wouldn't understand it anyway. Let's see. Well, unless you speak Thai. Let's see what Jody said. Yes, it helps us look at things from different perspective. Absolutely. And just think about if you have a bright light and you shine it on something, you're going to see it differently. And if you turn, you're going to see a different angle. And so absolutely, that positivity allows us to be more open and to see things in different ways. Awesome. And that's what I think you'll see in this video. You'll see somebody who is seeing something kind of in a different way. And I want you to think about, what impact does interest have on this person's life, assuming I'm able to do it. And it looks like maybe not. All right, I can't. I was hoping when I researched it online, it showed me how I could start the video, but I don't want to just show the video. I wanted to be able to talk first. All right, maybe I'm not going to be able to do it. So here's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put it in the chat box. One more second. Dashboard settings. So once I go live, I lose that option. Bummer. Bummer. I cannot do it. Darn it. All right, I'm going to put the link in the chat box so that you guys can watch it yourselves. I'm so disappointed that that didn't work. The video is what I wanted to use as a meditation because it is so powerful how it shows the choices that this man makes and how he does things that are very selfless, and yet you see the power that it has in his life. And although he's not looking for anything in particular, what it gets him. Just by the fact that he's paying attention, he's interested in the people around him, he's interested in the things around him. So I am going to put the link in just a minute. Um, so before I do that, I wanted to ask you, again, let's take a minute to look at the sheet, to think about the things you're interested in. So for me, the interest has really touched on the mental habits and the social connections, being more mindful, relaxing more. When I was looking at my psychological strengths and the negative self-talk, which we talked about for a couple of weeks, the joy and the gratitude and the serenity really helped me with that. And so thinking about how we can use all of these different types of positivities to make a change in our lives. For me, most of the time, not always, the way I am reacting to people is more positive. I'm more likely to pause. I'm less likely to get offended. This afternoon, I did get triggered, and I was so disappointed in myself for allowing myself to be triggered and responding to someone in a way that wasn't how I wanted to respond. And I had to stop and say, it's a process. I'm learning. I'm growing. And I think that's important for all of us to realize that in this world, we're never going to be perfect, but we can always strive for it. And we need to celebrate the small steps. And so I said in the very first broadcast, the introductory broadcast, that in 12 weeks or less, by doing the things we're talking about with positivity, we truly can grow our psychological strengths, increase our good mental habits, increase our social connections, and improve our physical health. So for me, the physical health right now is still kind of that outskirts, right? The interest can help me in some ways, as does the joy and the gratitude and the serenity. But I haven't yet on my chart really been able to dig in to this fourth section, right? For me, this is where I don't feel like I've got it yet. I'm not really walking down my path, but I know there are more steps in the path, and they're going to help me, especially as I combine each of them. So each week when we talk about one, don't forget about the others. Go back and think about gratitude. We talked about some strategies you could use with gratitude. The barrage of gratitude, where you just look around you and you're thankful for everything you see, or you make that gratitude list. With the joy, we had the My Joy list, and we even meditated on something that brings us joy so that we could bring it back at any moment to help reset what we're doing. And then with the serenity, we talked about taking that joy and taking that gratitude and bringing it to the place where we're just calm, everything is right, we're able to just let other things go. So now with interest, maybe you're thinking, I don't know about this interest thing. I've never thought about it as a kind of positivity, because neither had I, honestly. But as I have been getting interested in things, where I realize when I'm interested in something, how the time just flies. It's like, oh, maybe I need to make a point of getting interested in new things every once in a while, to just stop and say, you know what, when's the last time I decided to dig into something new? And we all do that. We have interests, we let our interests go. And so think about even the people around you, the things around you. If you go into a barrage of gratitude, where you look around you and you're thankful for each thing you see, you might end up with a new interest. I remember I happened to see, as I was looking around the room and doing my barrage of gratitude, I remember seeing my origami box. So origami is something I used to do all the time, and I picked it back up over the holidays with the relatives while they were in town. And I'm like, oh, that's something that I find very peaceful. That's something that's very calming to me. And when I thought about how grateful I was for that skill, it helped me remember an interest that I might want to go back into again. And it brings back lots of good memories and joy points, because we did origami in our wedding, David and I. My bouquet was origami. A lot of the decorations were in origami for the reception, because the day we met, we found out that was something that we both loved to do. And so not only did seeing the origami while I was being grateful for the things around me, it triggered an interest, and it reminded me of joy. And really, when I am doing origami, it can bring me to a place of serenity. So be sure that you're combining all these different things, not just looking at them one at a time. Thanks, Jody. It is a pretty cool box. accept and move forward. So I missed it when that comment came up. But yeah, so as we're working through things like me not responding the way I wanted to today, I need to just accept it. I did apologize to the person, but you know, the damage is done at some level. And so then it's time to just stop. As you said, let it go and do better next time, right? So Judy said, staying up late making origami flowers. Yes, good memories of fun. So I am disappointed not to have the video. I do want to encourage you to watch the video that I'm going to put in the chat box when you have a chance, and think about, when you are watching this person, what happened when he showed interest in what was around him in his daily life. Do you think it impacted his psychological strength? Do you think it impacted his mental habits, his social connections, and his physical health? And if so, how? So I was hoping to show it. It's about 3 minutes, I think, and I was hoping to show it and be able to talk about it a little bit. But you can always reach out to me at myluminaryinsights.com or Ivanna at myluminaryinsights.com to tell me what you thought of the video, or type it in the chat box here. You can always come back to this video. I will tell you that I cried. There were happy tears. And so I'm curious to know what you guys do. So, tried something, didn't work. I'm bummed. I could find it before I went live. I guess what I could do is try ending the broadcast and then starting a new broadcast to show the video. I hope it's okay to show a video that's public on YouTube. So I think I'll do that. I think I'll end the broadcast, start a new broadcast that shows the video, so you can either hop back on and watch it, or you can watch it when the replay hits up there, and then you can leave your comments. So, thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for joining me on this pathway to positivity. Do remember that if you're interested in going deeper than we're able to go on these broadcasts, that you can fill out the Let's Talk form at myluminaryinsights.com, and we can explore together. So thank you, Jody. I was about to put the website in, and you've already got it there. So please tell your friends, invite them to come and listen, and let's keep walking this pathway together. With lots of love and light, I'm going to end this broadcast and see if I can do a second broadcast and show the video. Have a great day.